Remember when the biggest decision on a Carnival cruise was whether to leave the lounger for the midnight buffet? That Carnival quietly packed its bags this year. The gratuity crept up, and your steward now visits once a day like a house guest with somewhere better to be. None of it's your fault. Nobody mails a memo to the people who behave. From the crew side of the desk, I wrote down all 12 changes and the quiet fix for each. And number 12? It's the paper you sign at check-in, the one that can send you home early. Rule number 1, the once-a-day cabin. Here's something most travelers our age don't find out until the first night. Your cabin gets made up once a day now, not twice. No turn down, no little chocolate on the pillow. That foil-wrapped goodbye has officially retired. You pick your slot when you board, morning or evening, and that's your one visit. I watch this at the guest services desk every sailing. The couple who told their steward their routine on day 1, meds at night, ice by 8, got looked after like clockwork. The ones who assumed it still ran the old way just stood in line to complain. Same steward, 2 different weeks. Your defense? Catch your steward the first morning and pick your service time out loud. Ask for what you need daily up front. Ice, extra towels, a second blanket. Keep a few dollars ready to thank the one person who runs your whole week. Magic phrase, could we do evening service with extra towels and ice each day? That one only costs you a little comfort. The next one starts costing real money before you've unpacked. Rule number 2, the $17 surprise. Here's something Carnival will not print on the welcome card. The daily gratuity went up on its own this year. As of April 2nd, 2026, it's $17 per person per day in a standard room, $19 in a suite. It lands on your sail and sign account quietly every day, no announcement, like a cat burglar who tips himself. For 2 of you on a week-long sailing, that's about $240 before you buy a thing. On a fixed income, that's not a rounding error, that's a shore excursion. The travelers who prepaid before April locked the old rate. The ones who waited paid the new one. Same cabin, 2 different bills. Your defense. Prepay your gratuities at booking to lock the rate before the next bump. Check your sail and sign balance mid-cruise so nothing surprises you at the end. If service genuinely fell short, adjust it at guest services, calmly in person. Magic phrase, I'd like to prepay my gratuities to lock today's rate. That one hits your wallet. The next one can stop you cold at the gangway. Rule number 3, the mobility scooter lockdown. This one genuinely surprises people, and it's the one I worry about most for our age group. If you travel with a mobility scooter, Carnival now holds a firm size rule. 21 inches wide, maximum to fit a standard stateroom. Go wider than that, or bring 2 scooters to one room, and you're required to book a fully accessible cabin instead. And it lives inside your room, never parked in the hallway. Measure it because the doorway does not negotiate. I watched a widow in her 70s turned around at check-in because her scooter was too wide for the room she'd booked. The traveler behind her had measured hers at home and rolled straight on. Same pier, 2 very different mornings. Your defense, measure your scooter's width before you book. 21 inches is the line. Over it? Reserve an accessible stateroom, not a standard one. Store the scooter inside your cabin every night, never in the corridor. Magic phrase, I use a mobility scooter. I need to confirm it fits or book accessible. That one meets you at boarding. The next one is the most expensive habit on the ship. Rule number 4, the $500 cabin. Here's something nobody warned you about until it's on your bill. Smoking in your stateroom or on your balcony now costs $500 per violation. Vaping counts exactly the same, and the charge goes straight onto your sail and sign account. $500 for one balcony cigarette, officially the most expensive smoke break at sea. Carnival keeps smoking to designated areas only now, and yes, the crew do check. I've seen a couple charged the full $500 for a single evening cigarette they thought nobody would notice. The neighbor who walked 2 decks to the designated area paid nothing. Same ship, one shortcut apart. Your defense, treat your cabin and balcony as strictly non-smoking. No exceptions. Find the designated deck areas on day 1 so you're never tempted to shortcut. If you smell smoke in a room you were just handed, report it before you settle in. The next one won't cost you much, but they'll take it off you at the gangway like it's contraband. Rule number 5, the water trap. Here's something that catches careful people every single sailing. You can't bring bottled water aboard anymore. Carnival stops water, sodas, any non-alcoholic drink in plastic or glass bottles right at the gangway. What you can carry on is a 12-pack of sealed cans or cartons per person at embarkation. Buy water on board instead, and it's $4.50 a bottle. And the free one only shows up if you've earned a red loyalty card. For someone our age who needs steady water for medication, that adds up fast. I watched security lift a case of water bottles right out of a couple's carry-on. The travelers beside them had a 12-pack of cans and a refillable bottle. Waved straight through. Same line, 2 different boarding stories. Your defense, pack a 12-pack of canned or carton water per person, not plastic bottles. Bring an empty refillable bottle and fill it at the buffet stations. Keep a day's water in your carry-on so you're covered before your room opens. The next one is the reason your trusty box fan is about to get benched. Rule number 6, the fan ban. Here's a new one the old hands are still finding out the hard way. Carnival tightened its rules on personal fans in the cabin. Bring a plug-in fan 12 inches or smaller and you're fine. Bring the big box fan you've hauled on every cruise since 1998, and it stays at the port. Fire and electrical safety, no exceptions. For those of us who sleep about 10 degrees cooler than the cabin thermostat allows, that stings. I watched a gentleman argue with security over a full-size fan he swore he'd brought a dozen times. The traveler beside him had a small clip fan the size of a coffee mug. Through in seconds. Same rule, one packed smart. Your defense, pack a plug-in fan 12 inches or smaller, leave the box fan home. A small USB or clip fan is the safe bet, and it fits the nightstand. Set your cabin thermostat the first hour so you know what you're working with. The next one matters most if the grandkids are sailing with you. Quick question while we're halfway. Which change bugs you most so far? The once-a-day cabin or paying for water you used to bring free? Tell me in the comments. I read them, and grab the free printable version of all 12 rules. It's linked right below in the description, ready for your next sailing. Then stick with me. The last 6 are the ones I'd flag hardest if I were sitting across from my own parents. Rule number 7, the 1 AM rule. Here's something the welcome card won't spell out for grandparents. Carnival is enforcing its youth curfew harder than ever. Anyone 17 or under, not with an adult 21 or older, has to be out of public areas by 1 in the morning. If the grandkids are aboard, 1 AM is the new pumpkin hour, and this coach turns back into trouble. The consequences don't stop with the child either. Repeat issues can mean warnings, fines, even the whole party asked to leave. And if you booked the trip, that party is you. I watched a grandmother pulled into guest services over a grandchild wandering the deck after curfew. The family 2 doors down had set one rule on day 1, back by midnight, together. Same sailing, 1 quiet conversation apart. Your defense. If minors are on your booking, set a check-in time on day 1, before the ship does. Keep the youth program hours handy. Supervised programs are the exception. Remember, the adult on the reservation carries the consequences, not just the teen. The next one is lighter, but it will change how you decorate your door. Rule number 8, the decoration crackdown. Here's one that surprises the celebrating crowd. Decorating your cabin door is still a Carnival tradition, but the rules got stricter. String lights of any kind are banned now, and crew are actively taking them down. Anything not fire retardant or that even looks flammable comes down too. The door police are real, and they are not festive. It's a maritime fire safety line, and there are no exceptions for birthdays or anniversaries. The good news, the doors are steel, so magnets, magnetic signs, and flat decorations are all fair game. I watched a couple's anniversary lights stripped off their door by mid-afternoon. The neighbors who brought magnetic decorations kept theirs up all week. Same hallway, 2 different homecomings. Your defense, leave the string lights home, bring magnetic decorations instead. Keep everything on the door itself, not the frame, wall, or railing. Pack a few flat magnetic photo frames. They hold fine and never get flagged. The next one costs you the meal you were most looking forward to. Rule number 9, the dinner you lose. Here's something that stings anyone who loves a proper sit-down dinner. Set dining times are being held to the clock now. Booked early or late seating and drift in more than about 10 or 15 minutes late, and they may wave you toward the buffet instead, like a bouncer with a clipboard. For a lot of us, that early set seating is the whole rhythm of the evening. Miss the window, and you've traded the dining room for a tray upstairs. I watched a couple stroll in 20 minutes late on their anniversary and get sent to the buffet. The pair at the next table came 5 minutes early and were seated with a smile. Same dining room, 2 different evenings. Your defense, treat your set seating like a reservation. Aim to arrive a few minutes early. Coming back from a port day, watch the clock so you don't lose your table. Running late? Switch to anytime dining for that night before you leave the room. Magic phrase, we're running late tonight. Can you move us to anytime dining? The next one for once actually lands on our side. Rule number 10, the chair patrol. Here's a change that finally works in our favor. Carnival is cracking down on chair-hogging, and for once, that helps travelers our age. Leave a lounger draped with a towel and untouched for 40 minutes, and crew clear your belongings and hold them for you. They even leave a little card. We stopped by and found this chair empty, the polite eviction notice. The towel that's been saving a seat since breakfast finally gets served its papers. And honestly, good. I watched a couple in their 70s circle a full deck for 20 minutes with nowhere to sit. A week later, under the new patrol, they walked out and sat down in 2. Same pool deck, before and after. Your defense. Want a chair? Just look. The towel-hogged loungers get cleared now. Never leave your own things unattended past 40 minutes, or they'll be collected. Note where the towel hut is, so you know where cleared items are held. The next one is the change nobody's talking about, and it affects every loyal Carnival cruiser. Rule number 11, the loyalty shakeup. Here's the big one. The other channels missed entirely. Carnival is retiring the VIFP Club and replacing the whole thing with Carnival Rewards. The switchover starts June 1st, 2026, with the new program in full swing by September. You'll now earn stars instead of cruise days, because nothing says relaxation like new paperwork. The entry-level blue tier is going away, and your current status is protected. Red, gold, and platinum through 2028. Diamond all the way to 2032. For loyal travelers our age with years of sailings banked, this decides which perks you keep. I watched 2 longtime cruisers compare notes. One had locked her tier before the deadline, one hadn't. Come 2028, only one of them keeps the good perks. Same loyalty, 2 different outcomes. Your defense. Check your current VIFP tier now and confirm how it maps into Carnival Rewards. If you're close to Diamond, sail before the deadline to lock it through 2032. Read what each new stars tier actually gives before you count on an old perk. The last one isn't a fee or a perk, it's the paper you already signed without reading, and it can end your cruise. Rule number 12, the contract you signed. Here's the one nobody talks about, and the reason I made this video. At check-in, you now agree to Carnival's Code of Conduct, the Have Fun, Be Safe policy. You clicked past it somewhere between your selfie and your key card. But inside, it is a clause that lets Carnival fine you $500 for disorderly conduct and put you off the ship at the next port at your own cost. It covers fighting, shouting, harassment, refusing crew instructions. Now, you and I aren't the rowdy ones, but the real risk is getting swept into someone else's mess and losing the trip you paid for. I watched a calm couple in their 60s nearly caught up in a hallway argument that wasn't even theirs. The ones who stepped away and told a crew member kept their cruise. The ones who stayed to argue did not. Same night, one decision apart. Your defense. Read the code of conduct once at check-in so you know exactly where the lines are. If conflict flares near you, step away and tell a crew member. Don't engage. Keep your sail and sign receipts. Calm documentation is your friend if you're ever wrongly flagged. Magic phrase, I'm not part of this. I'm reporting it and stepping away. Now you know what most travelers our age don't find out until the bill prints or the gangway closes. But knowing the new rules only keeps you out of trouble. The real money is in the free perks nobody at guest services volunteers. That's exactly what I'm covering next, and it's on the screen right now. See you on the next one.